Have you ever wondered why the wildest, most vivid story your mind ever tells you disappears before you've even had your morning coffee? You wake up. For a second, you're still there, falling, flying, talking to someone who died years ago, standing in a house that doesn't exist. It felt real. It felt important. And then you reach for your phone, and by the time you've checked the first notification, it's gone. Not faded, gone, as if it never happened at all. This isn't a flaw in your memory. It's not a sign that something is wrong with your brain. It's something stranger, a deliberate choice your mind makes every single night without asking your permission. To understand why, we have to go somewhere most people never think to look, not into the dream itself, but into the exact moment you wake up. Sleep isn't one single state. Your brain moves through cycles: light sleep, deep sleep, and a strange electric stage called REM, rapid eye movement sleep. During REM, your eyes dart back and forth beneath closed lids, your breathing changes, your muscles go almost completely limp, and your brain becomes nearly as active as it is when you're wide awake. This is where most vivid dreaming happens. But here's the strange part. While all of that activity is happening, one crucial part of your brain goes quiet. It's called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, and it sits just behind your forehead. In waking life, this region is your recorder. It's what takes a moment and files it away as a memory you can return to later. What you had for breakfast, a conversation from yesterday, the drive to work. During REM sleep, this recorder is switched off, so even while you're dreaming the most elaborate, emotional, detailed story of your life, the part of your brain responsible for saving it to long-term memory is essentially asleep. You're living an experience with no one there to write it down. That alone would be enough to explain forgetting. But there's more, because some dreams do survive. You've had that morning where you remember every detail, where the dream stays with you for hours. So, what's different? The answer seems to lie in what happens in the seconds after you wake up. Researchers studying dream recall found something curious. Whether you remember a dream often depends less on the dream itself and more on how you wake up. Wake up slowly, drifting up through the layers of sleep, and a dream has a chance to be captured. Wake up suddenly, an alarm, a noise, someone shaking you, and that fragile window slams shut before the memory can be locked in. Think of it like trying to save a document on a computer the instant before the power goes out. The information existed. It was real, but if you don't hit save in time, it's lost the moment the system shuts down. This is why people who keep dream journals by the bed and write immediately upon waking recall far more dreams than people who don't. It's not that journal keepers dream more. It's that they're catching the memory in the tiny window before it evaporates, sometimes within only a few minutes of waking. But this raises a deeper, stranger question. Why would evolution build a brain that experiences something so vivid only to erase it almost immediately? Wouldn't it make more sense to remember everything?
Some scientists believe forgetting dreams isn't a bug in the system. It's the system working exactly as intended. One idea is that dreaming may be part of how your brain processes emotions and memories from the day, sorting through them, testing scenarios, working through fears and problems in a kind of internal simulation. In this view, dreams may function more like a nightly workshop than a story meant to be remembered. The processing is the point. The output isn't meant to be kept. There's another theory, one that sounds almost unsettling at first. Some researchers suggest that if we remembered every dream in full, our minds might struggle to separate imagined experience from real memory. Dreams are often bizarre, illogical, and emotionally intense. If your brain treated every dream with the same weight as a real memory of your day, waking life could become disorienting, even confusing over time. Forgetting may be a kind of protection, a way of keeping the boundary between what happened and what your mind invented perfectly clear. There's also a simpler, more physical explanation running underneath all of this. Certain brain chemicals, particularly ones involved in memory formation like norepinephrine, drop to very low levels during REM sleep. These chemicals are part of what helps stamp an experience into long-term memory while you're awake. Without enough of them circulating, the brain simply doesn't have the right conditions to file the experience away, no matter how vivid it felt in the moment. So, it isn't one single cause, it's several systems working in quiet agreement. A memory recorder that's switched off, a chemical environment unsuited for saving new memories, and a fragile window at the edge of waking that closes almost instantly. Together, they make sure that even your most extraordinary internal experiences rarely make it into the story of your life. And yet, some dreams do survive. The ones that feel too strange, too emotional, or too vivid to fully let go. Nightmares are remembered more often than pleasant dreams, possibly because fear triggers a stronger response, one that pushes past the usual forgetting. A dream that wakes you suddenly, heart racing, is far more likely to stay with you than one that quietly fades as your alarm goes off. Which means the dreams you do remember aren't a random sample. They're often the loudest, most emotionally charged fragments of a much larger, invisible world your mind builds every single night. For every dream you recall, there may be dozens more, just as detailed, just as strange, that came and went without ever announcing themselves. Somewhere behind your closed eyes tonight, your brain will build entire worlds, people who don't exist, places you'll never visit, conversations that never happened and never will. And by morning, almost all of it will disappear, not because it wasn't real to you in that moment, but because your mind was never designed to let you keep it. Which means every single night, you are the only witness to a story no one, not even you, will ever fully remember.